All right, I am here with my lovely assistant, Kristen. I think I'm your assistant, actually. We're going to make some frozen custard today.
Okay, so first we're going to get all our ingredients. Ooh. You might want to zoom in on these ingredients. This is whole milk.
Cows.
2 cups. 1.5 cups of cream.
More cows.
Here is our glucose syrup. If you don't have this, you can use corn syrup.
What if they also don't have corn syrup? Can they just actually use like a regular sucrose table sugar for this?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
This is our sugar.
All right.
And this is our fancy thickener, cornstarch.
Ooh. What about the eggs? Like the real thickener?
Yes, the eggs are not out yet because we don't need them yet.
Oh, good.
I'll show them in the next step.
All right.
Okay, so get a nice handy dandy pot.
I love that pot.
We're going to add our milk to it.
Gravity. Good idea.
And our cream. Then we need to add our sugar.
And you're using a mix of 2 different sugars for this, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't have the glucose syrup, you can just use all sugar.
Okay.
So this is 3/4 cup of sugar.
I'm sorry.
Oop.
We'll find something to do with that extra sugar.
Okay. So that's gonna go in. And then the tricky part.
It's not just licking up the sugar with our tongues on the counter?
No, this is extremely sticky.
Yeah, it's pretty great, isn't it?
So I'm just gonna get a small spatula. We need 1/4 cup of this. Don't use all glucose syrup, it would be terrible, I hear.
I'm really interested in trying to do that, though, actually, at some point.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Why would that be yuck? It's sugar, it's basically the same thing.
It's probably gonna taste terrible. Okay.
Because glucose tastes terrible?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I've had some. It tastes fine.
Have
It's
you
just
ever
not very
been
sweet.
forced to drink a cup of glucose?
No, what kind of monster would do that?
My doctor.
What? Was this when you were pregnant?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Here is 1/4 cup of glucose syrup.
Ooh, it looks like honey.
That's what it is.
What if your doctor had told you to drink 1/4 cup of honey?
That would have been better.
Honey does taste delicious in a way that glucose just really does not. I mean, it's sweeter for one.
Still a lot, though.
But it's bee barf. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, definitely. It's antibacterial. Okay.
Well, you really pulled the best possible interpretation out of bee barf. That's why I love you.
Okay, now we're going to turn on this burner. And I'm going to turn it on pretty low setting.
Low. Ooh.
And then we're just going to cook this. The sugar will dissolve.
Be ripped apart by the water.
And you're actually going
Molecule
to
by
let
molecule.
this boil. But it's really tricky to let milk boil because it will often scald and make the milk disgusting.
Am I right in thinking that that is when scalding is when like the bottom part of the milk, like the milk that's in the bottom, gets so hot that it actually, I guess sticks together and becomes a solid? Is that right?
Well, that's burned.
Oh, scalded is different.
Scalded happens before that, and the top gets a film on top, and it kind of ruins the texture of the milk. So you just want to let it go to a boil very slowly, which is why we're using the low heat.
About how long would you expect this will take?
This will take a while.
What does a while mean?
15 minutes?
All right. We'll come back.
We'll come back for the next part.
Go for it.
Okay, for this recipe, we need eggs. But we need to separate the eggs.
Into evil and good? Good and bad eggs? Like in
Into
Willy Wonka.
White and yolks.
Oh, not white and brown eggs.
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna separate it like this. You want to take off the top half and leave the yolk in the bottom half. And you're going to let the white fall into the bowl.
It's like a cup.
Yep.
The eggshell is itself a cup.
Now, I haven't got all the white yet, so here's what I'm going to do.
That's clever. I never would have done that. It's like a game. Pass the yolk. What do you do if the yolk suddenly turns into a baby chicken and flies into your face and starts pecking you?
Adopt it, I guess.
All right.
That's
Write that down, everybody. Yolks can't turn into chickens, right?
No, actually, the yolks are the food for chickens.
I think I knew that.
If you see a chick in it, yolk's probably gone. Okay. So we just kind of... If you break the yolk, it will start running into the bowl with the whites. So you probably just want to dump it into the yolks bowl.
Oh, really? You think you can salvage it at that point?
If you break it and it starts running out, it won't hurt your ice cream. Just put the rest of it into the yolks bowl.
Oh, because you're going to smash that yolk at some point anyway.
Yep.
How many eggs?
We are using 5 for this recipe.
What if somebody insisted on using 15?
It would taste different.
Write that down.
Now, you might be wondering what happens if your egg yolk or your egg doesn't break in half very nicely. Like maybe this half is really small and you can't put the yolk into it. You can always use your hands like this.
Wow. Did you like
wash my hands? Yes, I did.
Okay. Is that like pet a cat or change the cat's litter box or anything like that recently?
No.
Okay. Because I'm going to eat this, so it's important information that I really want to know.
You have to wash your hands. Again, if this side is messed up, you can just do this way.
Wow. Wow. Could you throw that at somebody?
See, now it's broken.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to want to just put it in there.
Brilliant.
And now I have nice eggs on my hands. They are all separated.
Thank you. That was wonderful. We didn't get a chance to throw it at anyone, though. I was kind of hoping that we'd get a chance to do that.
Ice cream's more important, Brent.
Ice cream is very important. Right, thank you. Yes, we are ready.
Okay, should I go?
Because we're going.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, you might want to zoom in on this pot. This was boiling, so I turned it down.
You should say at this point that you cheated, and because you thought you were better than most people, and actually turned up the heat when the camera was off to actually make it kind of hot, which is why we were able to do that thing with the eggs a minute ago.
Well, I have a lot of experience.
She really does. She really does.
The higher the heat you put it, the more likely that the whole thing will be ruined. Just warning for all your students. If you put it on low heat, there's almost no chance it'll get messed up.
End of the world, everybody. Write that down.
Okay, so here's our simmering mixture.
How can you tell that it's done?
This is not actually done.
Oh.
I could tell the step was over because it boiled.
Oh, got it.
So if you want to show that there's little bubbles coming out.
Oh yeah, so there is.
There's small bubbles, so we call it simmering. Before we take this off the heat, we need to add our thickener, which is cornstarch.
So we didn't talk about this in the class, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah.
You did.
No, I should have. So many things, really. So many regrets.
Okay, so here's our cornstarch. I'm going to measure it.
Insofar as I understand, this actually plays a role a lot like that of the proteins. A starch is a sugar, or like a whole bunch of sugar molecules that are kind of glued together to make super long chains, and they bind up water the same way. Well, I don't know. Either that protein does or that sugar does. Remember that sugar makes the ice cream soft, and the protein makes it smooth. No, got that backwards.
So before I dump this into the pot, I actually am going to mix it with some cold milk.
Why?
Because if I put it in the pot directly like this, it will probably form a bunch of lumps.
Oh, that's bad because it sticks to itself, doesn't it?
So I have to mix it with something colder first before pouring the liquid into the pot. Okay. Which will keep it from clumping up.
Can we make oobleck with this?
You can if you add the right amount of water.
I wonder if milk will work to make oobleck as well. But cornstarch, everybody, is the stuff that you make, solid liquid, that kind of gunk. That is just so weird.
So this is 2 tablespoons of milk added to it. I'm just gonna mix it so it won't get all lumpy.
Is this called a roux?
It is if you fry it.
I know some things about cooking. Just some
Alright,
things.
so now it's a liquid. So this is much less likely to clump your mixture up. So I'm just gonna pour it in.
Wow. It looks so cool. The angle.
Now we have to let it cook for about a minute. So it can kind of thicken. It thickens better when it's cooked. There you go.
All right, so let's take a look at this actually. So it's been a few hours now. You let it sit. This looks so smooth. Put it in here. So we're having this. I'm having this right now, a soft serve. Let's take. Wow, that is maybe too eggy. Oh, but it's good. It tastes almost exactly like custard. It's like frozen pudding right now. It's super fine. Take a look. It's not only soft, of course it's soft because it's soft serve, but even when you harden this a bit, it will be soft. But it's also just so smooth in your mouth. Very too smooth? Is that even a thing that's possible?
No.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'd actually be interested in trying this again with maybe fewer eggs as part of this. Somewhere in the middle of this. So I'm going to say this particular recipe, more puddingish than I've ever had frozen custard before. And weird, but not bad. Weird treat. I like this. All right. Okay, that was it. Then kind of pointed at me. Thank you very much. Okay, so my wife pointed out that we hadn't actually put the vanilla into this. Now I'm having it with the vanilla. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. Much, 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 much better.